It's rodeo time in Odessa at the Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo. They're getting ready to kick off 2 weeks worth of rodeo action starting tonight here on the Cowboy Channel. The vice president of the rodeo will join us on today's Western Sports Roundup.
And she went from the fast time champion at the 2024 National Finals of Breakaway Roping to the average champion in 2025. Rylee George is a well-rounded roper, and we're going to get her secret today on the show.
And the PBR is getting ready for their big event at Madison Square Garden this weekend. One of those bull riders, oh yeah, it's Sage Kimzey. He will join us to talk all about Madison Square Garden. That's all coming up on Western Sports Roundup.
Here's Sage's re-ride. Whiplash's 100,000. Kimzey gets it. Whiplash does an excellent job yet again to continue his career. And Kimzey enters the record.
Well, we're back once again in our Cowboy Channel studios for Western Sports Roundup. I'm Katie Lucas here with Ty McClary. Ty, yes, we know it's early on in our pro rodeo season, but we want to kick off the show today by celebrating our world leaders so far in 2026.
Yeah, of course, you all know that the season actually got underway October the 1st, and now here we are in early January. But as we look at a handful of these numbers, I want to give a shout out to the world of professional rodeo because there are some numbers these guys have already stacked up, and here we are in early January. So that's good stuff. These guys are running at some big money. One of them includes this guy, Bradley Miller, who is #1 right now in the bareback riding, a little over 21,000. He's got one on the season already. Very familiar territory for this guy because when you think about it, a year ago, almost the same kind of situation. He kicked off the season early in the #1 spot.
Yeah, he's actually starting off this season just a touch better than last year. This week last year, he had $18,000 won. Now $21,000 for Bradley Miller. You can bet he's ready to go at it for that world title again in 2026. Steer wrestling leader so far, Shade Etherton, has won $15,000. The Indiana Cowboy had some great starts in 2026. Second at the Cooks Rodeo Days in Lubbock, Texas for a $4,000 payday. Then won the average at the Texas Circuit Finals, plus over $10,000 along the way. He's had a lot of success in Texas.
He definitely did. The Texas Circuit Finals, you mentioned that average win. He also won 2 rounds down there at the Texas Circuit Finals, 2 of the 4 rounds. When we talk team roping on the heading side of things, here's the way it looks right now. Garrett Tanazi, oh yeah, he's been to 2 trips to the National Finals Rodeo. Of course, a big pile of his money came from the Mountain States Circuit Finals, where he won the average there, won a round as well, a little over 12,000, about 12,590 bucks, as he's got one on the season right now, leading the way on the heading side.
Yeah, he doesn't go as much anymore, but he set himself up for success already in 2026. He just won the San Antonio qualifier with Dustin Davis. He's got a big opportunity ahead of him now. On the healing side of things, Parker Carbajal, the Florida Cowboy, has over $11,000 won so far. He's easily en route to having his best season to date. Last year was his career high at $23,000. He's almost halfway there.
Kind of like a lot of our other season leaders right now. The circuit finals definitely had a lot to do with that. He ended up second there in the average. You want to go around down there at the Southeastern Circuit Finals. A couple of the Florida rodeos have been really good to him here early in the season. They have a pile of those Florida rodeos back there in October, November, and of course throughout the rest of the season. Some of those have already been good to him as well. As we look at Saddle Bronc rider Wyatt Casper, remember for the 2025 season, he finished the year 16th. No one loves that spot. He is doing his best to not end up in that spot again.
Yeah, that is a Cowboy on a mission right there. $43,000 already for the 2026 season. He really suffered a tough injury, Ty. He broke his ankle mid-summer, kind of had to nurse it all through the rest of the season, had to go back in, do a little more work on the ankle. So it really was a tough way for him to finish out the last quarter of the season. Even so, ends up 16th in the world.
Yeah, the 5-time NFR qualifier won a pile of money up there at the Rad Germanson Extreme Bronx event up there in October. As we look at the breakaway roping, that's J.C. Hammonds you're looking at, a little over 13,000 won on the season already this year. And of course, as you look at it, Cooks Rodeo Days there in Lubbock in early October, or November I should say, was really good to her. She won a pile of money out of that event.
And like we said, it's still early in the season, but Ty, right now she's got a $7,500 lead over our number 2 breakaway roper. As we move on to the tie-down roping, Bryce Dara, the 24-year-old New Mexico cowboy, has $16,000 won, thanks in most part to the roping fiesta. He won the average, won both rounds, over $16,000 for the good for him there in San Angelo.
Yeah, last year was good to Bryce as well. Top 40 in the world standings for 2025. And as he got off underway on 2026, he also traveled out to California there in November. Brawley, California. The Brawley Cattle Call was good to him. He placed and got him some money out there as well. So that added to his $16,000 won on the season here early.
Let's talk about Grace Harmon in the barrel racing. $13,780 across 6 rodeos attended so far for the 2026 season, Ty.
That Texas Circuit Finals for her was amazing. The first round didn't start off too good for Grayson Harmon down there in Waco, but did she come back and better that? She came back and won the next 3 rounds at the Circuit Finals. You're seeing video of that right now. Oh yeah, she has done very, very well. She also placed in Belleville, Texas, Rosenberg, and Hempstead, all of those back in October as well. So it's safe to say the state of Texas has been good to her so far.
Yeah, strong start to her season. Here's a cowboy that had a very strong finish to his first season in pro rodeo. Bryce Jensen came off of the toughest rookie race that we saw in 2025, where he left the champion, your 2025 Resist All Rookie of the Year. I think he'd like to get back to the National Finals Rodeo, Ty.
He's trying to do that pretty early in the season. A little over 35,000 won already. The Texas Circuit Finals, he won the average down there. Won Hempstead, Texas. Of course, that was opening weekend there in October there in Hempstead. Placed at the New Year's Eve Buck and Ball event, the Chase Hawks Rough Stock Rodeo. Those are your season leaders. Early in January, I get it, but no matter what, that's a look at all of them. And like I said early in this segment, look at the money that some of them have won up already stacked up here on this 2026 season. Things are looking pretty good for them. Well, it is rodeo time for the 2026 season, especially here in early January. And, of course, every year, as always, they like to kick it off in Odessa, Texas, the Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo. In fact, it's one of our first live rodeo performances of this January here on the Cowboy Channel. And to help us get things ready for Odessa, the vice president of the Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo, of course, joins us right now. Don McCain, my old buddy, joining us here on the show. Don, thanks for being here with us.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so this is the question I got to lead off with you. Are you guys ready? It is night number 1 for Odessa and the Sandhills Stock Show.
I believe we are. You know, you got a few cosmetic things going on, but we could have a rodeo right now instead of waiting until 7:30.
I know you're raring and ready to go, and the rodeo here has a lot of personal meaning to you as well. You were a former rodeo cowboy yourself. How much more effort do you feel like you put in just knowing that you're putting on this event for the Cowboys?
Well, you know, it does carry over from back whenever I was rodeoing, and just kind of, you know, you realize what these guys expect at a rodeo, and we just try to help them out every way we can, make it as easy as we can for these guys and enjoyable. And we're just, you know, happy that they all come to Odessa, you know, and like y'all said, it's first calendar rodeo of the year. So it's a big deal. You know, a lot of people be making their way out here to get a start on the year.
Oh, yeah, when we think about later on in the year at the Governor's Cup, I mean, a lot of things happening in Odessa that can help contestants qualify their way up to Sioux Falls in the Governor's Cup. So having a good rodeo there can definitely help with that. Don, when we talk about y'all's rodeo itself, I think it's safe to say that most of the fans in the West Texas area and Odessa and the Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo, they're pretty rodeo savvy, but you've always got the opportunity to bring in new fans in and never even seen Odessa and the Sandhills Rodeo before. What do you guys try to do each and every year to always be aware of maybe that extended rodeo fan that's been there for a long time, or maybe a first-time ever fan showing up in Odessa?
Well, the people that either have a part of rodeo in them or just know all about the rodeo, you know, we try to keep them entertained. But the ones that don't know a whole lot about it, you know, we invite them to come out, look to stock, look to animals, look to pens. Just, you know, they're welcome to come out and look at everything that goes on in Sandhills organization. So, you know, and we do have a few people that's like, hey, can we go back there, you know, and look at your animals? And so, you know, we really enjoy doing that. So, you know, if they hadn't been here, we just want to entertain them and answer any questions they've got and show them up and close.
So whether they're a first-time rodeo fan or a rodeo veteran, what can they expect from the 2026 edition of the Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo?
Well, there's a lot of excitement being the first rodeo of the year, and the weather's working out, fairly good for us, so the parents, can bring the kids out for some good family entertainment. A lot of wholesome things go on here. We brought in a specialty act this year that will be really entertaining for everybody, not just the kids, but we've got John Payne, the one-armed bandit, coming in, and y'all have seen John. Y'all know he brings a lot to the rodeo, so we're excited to have him back, and we'll just, hopefully he'll have all the kids just laughing and amazed at what he does.
Gary, Don, it obviously takes an entire team to be able to put an event like this on at the Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo there in Odessa. You as vice president, but you've got a lot of folks behind you that have to do their job to make it all happen as well, right?
That is correct. I've got a great organization, and we're all kind of like family year round, but when this thing comes together, it's like a family reunion. And a lot of these people live, Midland or Andrews, surrounding towns, and they just bring their trailers up and stay for 2 weeks. And, we just have a good time up here. And, if it wasn't for the volunteers, this rodeo wouldn't be anything. So, yeah, I've got a great group of people behind me.
And you and your team are not just busy with the PRCA rodeo action, but got a lot of other kind of side competitions going on that are always really exciting.
Yeah, we do. We've got 6 performances. So we have a little downtime, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then we've got some downtime. So we decided to bring in breakaway roping, which has been a big hit. And, it's good for the ladies. And then we'll have slack on Monday, and then Tuesday we have a really, really good Super Tuesday roping. It's, we'll bring it from amateurs up to, the world champions rope in it. So we try to keep something going on in here, every day that we've got this thing dirt in it. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it definitely is. One of the highlights for me when I used to go, I remember, was next weekend, later next week, the kids rodeo that shows up. A lot of the school kids come in, and you guys put on a special performance for them. So lots to see and do there at Odessa. Gary, Don, I know you're busy. It is night number 1 for you guys in Odessa. So thanks for taking time to visit with us. And we can't wait to see you guys tonight live on the Cowboy Channel from Odessa, Texas, and the Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo. Thanks for being here with us.
Thank you for having us on.
Yeah, they're just moments away from kicking things off out there in Odessa, Texas. But when we come back, we're going to rewind back to just before Christmas. Rylee George had a big national finals of breakaway roping, winning the average, and we're going to break it down with her next.
You could also say a pretty darn good bull rider is going to join us a little later on in the show. Sage Kimzey, they are getting ready for the big event at Madison Square Garden this weekend. He's going to join us. That's all coming up on Western Sports Roundup.
Western Sports Roundup brought to you by Resistol, the official hat of cowboys everywhere. We live it every day.
A spotlight.
Western Sports Roundup is brought to you by Rock and Roll Denim. Live boldly. Live in Rock and Roll Denim.
Rylee George, you're the speedster. You're the one that can win our fast time awards at rodeos. You know, doesn't matter the setup, doesn't matter the start, the cattle. You're the one that can go fast. But how much does it mean to you knowing that you can also be the most consistent breakaway roper against the best in the business?
Oh, it means the world to me, and I'm blessed to be here. And thank you to Jill Tanner for letting me ride that great black horse of hers. And he's really honest for these calves and this fast start.
We saw you just point over to the crowd here. You've got a lot of great people behind you, don't you?
I got people all over in these stands, but my main buddies are down there.
Hey, and they're all cheering for you. Congratulations, the record breaker for the average title.
You know, it's really good in the world of rodeo to get a world title under your belt, but that second most coveted title is the average title at the national finals. Even the national finals are breakaway roping, and for Rylee George, that is exactly what she did the week of Christmas right here in Fort Worth, Texas at the Cowtown Coliseum. Rylee George, the average champion of the breakaway finals, joins us now. Rylee, not only congratulations to that huge win, but Rylee, I want to start this off by talking to you about this. You have always been very professional about your rope and the way you use it and the way you handle it. But watching the national finals of breakaway roping over those 10 go-rounds, you look like to me that rope was as crisp as it could ever be around the neck of those calves. Tell me a little bit about that. Were you getting ready for that for the breakaway finals, or man, it looked sharp for you?
You know, this year I actually had a couple practice horses trying to get ready for Kimes and the national finals, and so I think having them really helped me rope for myself and not always try to keep my horses working good.
So when we talk about the national finals of breakaway roping, when you got past day number 1, 5 go-rounds under your belt, you placed in all 5 of those rounds. Then we get into day number 2, and I'm going to say along about there around 7, 8, you're really probably starting to focus on that average. You've got it in your mirror. What was the pressure like for you to handle those last 3 or 4 calves, knowing that, hey, I got to keep roping these calves, I got to keep getting out of the barrier? Talk us through that.
You know, the last few calves I ran all on Jill Tanner's little black horse, and I just knew he was going to give me the same throw every time, and I knew he wasn't going to try to cheat me or nothing. And honestly, the last 3 calves was probably the most I was in the barrier in all 10 rounds, which really wasn't what I was planning on, but that horse and we really got the start down, and he was just really honest throughout the whole thing.
You've given Jill Tanner's horse Bob credit several times now, both in the arena there and then even in this interview. What was it about Bob that said that was the horse to hop on? Because you really had no experience on the horse until about a day before the finals.
Yeah, we were running the calves through, or we got word a couple days before we were roping the calves from the calf roping in Vegas, and so when we ran them through that day before, they were really running, and so I knew I was going to have to find something to ride that was fast and honest, and Jill offered me her horse, and I pretty much jerked her hand off on taking off the offer on him.
Okay, but over those 10 go-rounds at the national finals of breakaway roping, you jumped on one of your old faithfuls for a couple of rounds. You rode Old Deputy, the sorrel horse, a couple times. Talk about that reason for jumping on that horse for those few rounds.
Yeah, I rode Deputy on the slower pin of calves on 2 runs just because I knew how to score him, and I knew I would be able to see my start and still go run down and catch the calves.
It really was a tough setup. You absolutely had to be on the barrier, especially with it being such a small arena, such fast cattle for you guys to rope to. How did you kind of walk that fine line? Of course, when you're gunning for the average, you can't break the barrier, but you also can't be late at Cowtown.
Yeah, my plan going into it was just to not miss the barrier and just make the best run I could on every calf. And that black horse was really easy to score, and I kind of figured him out as the days went on, and he really just made it really easy for me.
Rylee, also part of that plan at the beginning of the national finals of breakaway roping, were you thinking about that average title? I mean, everybody, all 15 of you obviously are going for a world title, if at all possible, but that average title, was that something you had on your mind prior to go round number 1?
I went in there with kind of the same game plan to just go at every calf, and by the end of the first day, I realized that really I kind of played it safe the first day almost. I wasn't really taking my first shot, and I was taking a swing over every calf. And then the second day, I went in with the game plan to just try to get the rest of the calves down and see how the average played out.
Rylee, I think we've kind of missed the elephant in the room. Not only did you win the average, but you're now the record holder by almost 3 seconds. When did you realize that that record might be up for grabs, and did that add any extra pressure for you?
You know, I honestly didn't even know what the record was, and I didn't know anything about it until the last round when the announcer was talking about it, and then all I had to run was the last calf, and that was really the only time I knew that I was even close to the record.
Well, no matter what, whether you knew about it or not, you did exactly that. You set a new record for all 10 calves, the breakaway finals. Congratulations on that. Congratulations on the average championship. Congratulations on the year that you ended up having for the entire season of 2025. And obviously, we can't wait to see what you can do for this season of 2026. Rylee, thanks for joining us here on Western Sports Roundup.
Thank you for having me.
That's Rylee George, your record holder for the average on 10 at the national finals of breakaway. Well, from breakaway roping to bull riding, coming up next on Western Sports Roundup, a legend will join us on the show.
Whiplash is 100,000. Kimzey gets it. Whiplash does an excellent job yet again to continue his career. And Kimzey enters the record books.
Well, he's been a 7-time PRCA world champion, was the #1 overall PBR team's draft pick in 2023, also won the PBR World Finals Championship event in 2024, and he joins us now, the legendary Sage Kimzey. Sage, love the background that we're working with right there. Tell us where you're at.
Yeah, we're at the Big Apple. We're actually at Madison Square Garden right now. They were nice enough to hook us up with this awesome spot. So, yeah.
Sage, the 19th year there at Madison Square Garden for the PBR, and I got to know this from you. You've been on a lot of stages in your career. You've ridden bulls at the highest level at a lot of cool places, but I would have to say, getting ready for Madison Square Garden tomorrow night, that one's got to be pretty high up there on your list.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really rank them because all of them are special in their own different ways. But I mean, at the end of the day, this is the world's most famous arena. It's their tagline. It's what they're known for. And yeah, I mean, to get to come up here and ride bulls at this place is just special.
It's been a big part of rodeo's history throughout the last many decades, but 19 years for the PBR. And you told us walking down the street, they know exactly what you're in town for.
Oh, it's so cool. Yeah. It's, 19 years ago, there was nothing here really for as far as Western sports go. And now it's like every year when we show up with our cowboy hats on, at the first of the year, it's everybody's like, oh, the bull riding's back in town. The bull riding's back in town. We love coming to the event. This and that. It's, from the MSG staff to the people at the airport. It's like everybody knows that PBR comes here at the turn of the new year. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
Sage, it's got to be pretty awesome for you and a great feeling for you to be able to be there at Madison Square Garden. And you're in a big city. It's not like you're in Fort Worth, Texas, or Houston at the big rodeos that are very well known as well. But to be in New York and Madison Square Garden and do exactly what you just mentioned, be walking down the street and have those people recognize you in a big city like that, that's got to be a cool moment for you.
Oh, it's awesome because it is. And you mentioned it. You go to Houston and you enjoy Rodeo Houston there, but it's Rodeo Houston's been going on for a century, and it's just part of the culture of the town of Houston. And you go to the Calgary Stampede, and it's the same way. The PBR is building that exact same thing here in Madison Square Garden with very not traditional market, right? Because the city of New York has a million things going on at all times. And the fact that the PBR has just opened up the floodgates and has made this event here at Madison Square Garden what it is just incredible.
All right, so safe to say you're feeling good, you're feeling motivated as we really kind of get into the swing of things on the Unleash the Beast tour. What do you think of your performance so far, and how motivated are you this weekend to leave the Madison Square Garden in a big way?
My performance has been like, I guess subpar would be my evaluation of it so far. It hasn't been very good, but at the end of the day, like, I am really excited to come in here. There's very few things that really get me fired up anymore. And coming and riding to Madison Square Garden is definitely one of those things. So really looking forward to the weekend.
Sage, you've obviously been riding bulls for a day or two. You've dealt with some injuries in your career. How are you looking here early in 2026? Are you healthy? Are you feeling good? What's it looking like for you right now?
Yeah, I think right now it's the only time I've been truly healthy since dating back to 2022, whenever I tore my shoulder up for the first time. So on that front, I could not be more excited. And I mean, you mentioned it, the health thing is just, the number one thing that we have to deal with in the sport of bull riding. And yeah, I mean, right now it's as good as it's been in a very long time.
What's been the biggest difference maker for you in really getting your health and your physical well-being back in order?
I don't know that it's any one thing that I've been doing. It's just it's a lot more work at 31 than what it was at 19. That's for sure. But yeah, it's a culmination of everything. I take care of my body probably as good as anybody ever has. It's a lot of working out. It's a lot of manual therapy. It's a lot of untraditional therapy, and just it's just a combination of everything, really.
Sage, when we look at the PBR schedule, whether it's you guys being in Madison Square Garden this weekend, the Unleash the Beast tour underway, obviously, even when we talk about the team season as that takes place for you, it kind of fits your program, doesn't it? I mean, the family at home now, like you mentioned, at 31 years old, it's different than it was at 19. Throw the family aspect in the middle of that with the wife and kids at home. This definitely kind of fits your moment right now, doesn't it?
Oh, that's the biggest thing for me, and that was one of the biggest reasons for the switch over to the PBR is that the ability for me to be home Monday through Friday with my family is just, I mean, you can't put a price on that. And I don't have to miss a lot of my kids growing up, and I don't have to miss a whole lot at home, and I get to be a good husband and a good father, and I wouldn't say it so much like me giving up on doing whatever or anything like that, but it's the number one priority in my life right now is God, and then my family right after that. So yeah, for me to be able to be home with them and just kind of enjoy my time, it means the world to me.
And it takes a lot of motivation to go out on the road weekend after weekend to go compete, especially as a bull rider. But for you, what is that one goal ahead of you that keeps you motivated still?
It seems like it changes all the time, but from a competition perspective, it's definitely, to win a world title over here. I think that's what everybody starts the year out wanting to do, and I'm no different. I think probably more of a motivating factor to me now is to be the guy that I needed for these young guys in the locker room. You always hear, don't meet your heroes. And I met plenty of them that didn't live up to what I thought they would be. And I guess that's the thing. It's at the end of the day, your legacy is how you treat people along the way and the impact you truly had on people's lives. And for me to be kind of a good mentor in the locker room is really important to me. And at the end of the day, that's how true progress in anything happens. And just trying my best to be a light in the world.
Sage, as you mentioned that, I want to know from you, because like you just mentioned, you talked about some mentors that you had. What about that part of your life now? Because you're a mentor to a lot of those guys that are in the locker room with you tomorrow night right there at Madison Square Garden. And you just mentioned that, but that's got to be huge to you in your career as well.
It is, and it's something that, it kind of hits you in the face that guys are looking up to you, because, you start out and you're this 18-year-old kid that doesn't really care about a whole lot. You just learn to run some rank bulls under you. And then, next thing you know, it's like you are the elder guy in the locker room. And it took me a long time to kind of realize that, these kids grew up watching all of us older guys. And, they see our every move, and they listen to our every word, and they hang on that. And then, you just don't realize the impact you can have on somebody's life. So it's one of those deals that it's a role that there's a lot of responsibility in it, and I don't take it lightly. And it's, like I said, it's something that I really do kind of enjoy, getting to be like that sound mind and, the sounding board for these young guys in the locker room.
Well, Sage, I think you taking on that responsibility truly makes you the champion that you are. Congratulations on all the wins in the past. I know you've got some big ones and some big goals ahead of you, so best of luck and good luck this weekend. I know it's an event that means a lot.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
That is Sage Kimzey getting ready for Madison Square Garden this weekend. Hey, we're going to keep talking PBR. When we return, CEO Sean Gleason is going to join us. Tell us all about the debut of the Monster Energy Team Challenge event taking place this weekend during the Unleash the Beast event. We'll be right back.
Welcome back into our Cowboy Channel studios, of course located in the historic Fort Worth Stockyards. As we hop back into our studio, Ty McClary, we're continuing our PBR discussion now with a new concept that will be launching this weekend, the Monster Energy Team Challenge, going to bring a whole new level of intensity to what we're watching at Madison Square Garden. The PBR just continues to rise to the top in everything that they've got going on, whether it's the Unleash the Beast Tour, which is taking place right now. Of course, their very successful PBR team season, which just wrapped up their 4th season now, and they just continue to do exactly that. As you mentioned, now the Monster Energy Team Challenge, that's a new event, a new challenge that's going to be thrown right in the middle of these Unleash the Beast Tour season events. And to be able to explain all that to not only Cowboy Channel fans, but PBR bull riding fans, we thought we better bring in the CEO of the PBR, and that is Sean Gleason, joining us here on the show right now. Sean, thanks for being here on the show, but I guess to kick it off, kind of explain the idea behind this Monster Energy Team Challenge. Things have been going very well for y'all at the PBR, and look to see that this is probably just going to take that same track.
Yeah, you know, it's the team's launch was a huge success for us. I think arguably what we've done with PBR teams makes it one of the most successful league launches, sports leagues launches in recent memory. But there's still a lot of fans out there that think that we ruined the sport of bull riding and that I'm the devil, you know, for launching or turning bull riding into a team sport. And so we've been planning to introduce the team series to our fans at the Unleash the Beast event in a very seamless and logical way. And so introducing fans in Madison Square Garden or Boston or Sacramento to the team series is really what this is all about. And our teams will compete in a series of events during the regular season here, and then at the end of the Unleash the Beast Tour, we're going to crown a champion through a quick little playoff.
The PBR series, the PBR as a whole, has always been about pushing the envelope, innovating. And yes, sometimes that comes with naysayers. Sometimes ideas work, sometimes they don't. But through all those naysayers, why has it been so important to you to keep pushing and keep innovating?
Well, you know, we've experimented with team concept bull riding for almost 20 years, from the time we launched the original Global Cup and the World Cup back in the day. And, you know, it's just been an exciting format. It really changes the dynamics. It didn't change bull riding, but it changed the game. And since we've launched teams and have had now 4 seasons under our belt, you know, in the beginning, there were a lot of naysayers, but any core bull riding fan that's given teams an honest chance has turned out and come back and said they loved it. And I've had numerous people come say, you know, I thought you were a terrible human, but this teams thing is all right. And so we just want to keep introducing it to folks because it's a new twist on a great old sport. We still have the Unleash the Beast. We're still going to crown a world champion. But this new twist makes it an interesting game within the sport of bull riding. And you know, it's important that we keep meeting fans where they live, and not just core bull riding fans, but the next generation. And a lot of those folks are really familiar with team sports, so it's a much more palatable, understandable format for them.
And Sean, would you agree in saying that that's what it's all about for you guys at the PBR? I mean, just continuing to elevate that fan level and what they can do and experience at the PBR level. That's what this is all about, and the idea behind this Monster Energy Team Challenge.
Yeah, I mean, we've always, since this league PBR was launched 30 some odd years ago, it's been about taking bull riding, the best bull riders and the best bulls on the planet, and taking them to where bull riding really isn't. You know, that's why we're celebrating 19 years in Madison Square Garden this weekend, because we had the foresight to get in there and really start building a fan base and an audience. And arguably one of the places that you'd think bull riding would never succeed, but we're going to sell out all 3 days. We've got a huge fan base here in New York, and it's just good for the sport. It's good for the Western lifestyle. Although some see it other ways, we continue to push to bring bull riding where it isn't. Finished Boston last weekend, first time ever at the TD Garden in Boston, and sold out both nights, and it was electric. Announced we're coming back there next year. So
So this brand new Monster Energy Team Challenge will work hand in hand this weekend and this season with the Unleash the Beast Tour. Break down the format a little bit for those watching at home or in person. What are they going to see and how will they work together?
Yeah, on the first night of every event, we'll have 2 games that'll feature 4 total teams from the league. They'll each play a game 4-on-4 for time reasons. So instead of the 5-on-5, it's 4-on-4 games. We'll keep the record through the season. And then the top 4 teams will advance to our championship tournament. And that will actually be 7-on-7 games as we go through the last 3 events of the season before we crown a champion.
And Sean, just to clarify, too, for fans at home that are watching, that's all happening within the Unleash the Beast Tour. Just like tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden, there will be riders competing in go-round number 1 of the Unleash the Beast part of it. And then the challenge is it's separate, but yet they still can get points through the first round. You might explain that to our fans a little bit.
Yeah, so most of our riders obviously are, the top riders are all riding in both teams and Unleash the Beast. And so every out counts in the Unleash the Beast standings for this weekend, whether they're competing in the teams event or not. The riders that aren't competing will compete in the long round on the first night as well. And it's a round in the Unleash the Beast event, but it's an opportunity to introduce the team format and another benefit to the fans that are there on that first night of the event.
Yet another exciting innovation coming your way from the PBR. Sean, thanks so much for breaking it down and telling us all about it. The Monster Energy Team Challenge is going to be exciting, and it debuts this weekend. Thanks for the info.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
That is Sean Gleason, the CEO of the PBR. Boston is where they're headed this weekend. Stay with us on Western Sports Roundup. In case you missed it, Hell on Wheels finale, it was last night. We'll give you a little teaser. We'll talk a little bit about it when we come back here on the show. That's all coming up.
I need to sell my
Welcome back to Western Sports Roundup. If you missed the final episode of Rocker Steiner's Hell on Wheels, well, you sure missed a lot. Rocker came into the national finals in 2025 with a huge lead, a buffer, but one of those buffers that he knew could slip away at any moment. In the final couple go-rounds of competition, he channeled both the memory and the message of rodeo's legends to seal the deal on the 2025 World Champion Bareback title. Here's the conclusion of Hell on Wheels.
I came in here with such a big lead, and I fell behind, and I was like, I don't know why the I do this. Like Like, why do I put myself in this situation of feeling like this? I've gone to all these rodeos and tried so hard to get here, and I'm letting it slip away again. It was just all I could do, just not just break down and give up. I was pretty down bad after the 8th round, going into the 9th and 10th. Larry Mahan on my side today. I don't know what I'm about to bring, but it's something ungodly. I pretty much just resorted back to what I've heard Ty Murray say a million times. I can't promise you that I'm the most talented or the best, but I can promise you that I'll try harder than anybody in the arena. That's exactly what Ty did, and that's exactly what I just started telling myself. Is like, look, no matter what, I'm just gonna go out here and try harder than every in this arena. I got the draw for the 9th round. It was Cafe Risque. 9th round was the most nervous I've ever been.
So here's what Rocker needs in the last 2 rounds. He needs to score big and win big, and maybe move from 8th in the average into the top 4 or 5. I don't think he's going to get any higher than that.
I was just like, we just need a big check or, you know, bump up at the average or something. I just went out there and I literally just sent it as hard as I could.
And for the first time in a long time, Rocker Steiner fighting to hold on to that #1 spot.
Let's see what he's got. He's got a great mark out. Now he's rolling. Man, Rocker Steiner, he is driving his feet. Man, this is a classic ride. Oh, man, that was good. I was worried about Cafe Risky not wanting to play back with him. Man, Rocker, he's not going to go down without a fight. Rocker Steiner cashes another check.
I emptied the tank. It was gone. I saw my blood on my finger and I was like, you know what, it, like.
Are you having listening? I am having
I want to kill them all. Every last one of them. Oh, we just gotta keep going up, baby. We got it tomorrow. We got this.
Man, this is a classic ride.
Dude, I sent it. That was all I had right there. You know what we're gonna get tomorrow? Huh? Disco party. We'll win the world, all right? Me and you.
Love you, Bubba.
Flex, Rocker.
It was very, very big for me and gave me a lot of confidence going into round 10. I didn't know how all the math was gonna work. I didn't know where everybody was in the average. I didn't know who moved up, who went down. I pretty much just told my dad, I was like, I'm just gonna make this simple. I'm just gonna go ahead and win it. That sounds way easier on my mind. Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna get Disco and go win it. The other horse I wanted really bad was Disco Party, and I pretty much just started telling everybody, I'm gonna have Disco tomorrow and I'm gonna win the world. I get a text, and it's the draw for the 10th round. I go to my name and I scroll over, Disco Party. I throw my hands up in the air, start jumping around. Disco is everything a horse of the year should be. I mean, it tries its ass off every time, leaps in the air, kicks over its head, gets wild, gets flashy, and I mean, like, I want to dance in front of the crowd, and I want to get off, and I want to hear the crowd roar, and, I want to celebrate. Turned my phone off at 12 o'clock, and I did not pick it back up. Tried to go to sleep. I laid there and laid there. Note that it is 64 degrees in my room. My palms were sweating. My heart was racing. I couldn't close my eyes and not see me riding this horse. What do you wear to go win the world? What do you wear? I don't know. You're set up to win the world. You got the horse you wanted. You're last out. There's no going back. Here you go. Don't f it up. Whenever I had my headphones on, like, I was thinking about some deep stuff like my childhood, being a little kid riding bucking horses. I walked out of the locker room pretty early, threw my rigging on Disco and scratched on her for a while and pretty much said, it's you and I. The last 3 guys of the show, those are the guys to beat.
Rocker, Jess Pope, Sam Peterson, those 3 guys, the last 3 guys to go.
Jess and Sam go.
With a tough round of bareback ride, you need one to stand out. Jess did everything he could do right there. Beautiful, beautiful ride by Sam. What a showing through 10 rounds in his first NFR.
Pretty much they said you're up, and I just told myself time to go win a gold buckle.
He can't just get by this horse.
No, he can't, can he?
He has got to be explosive at this horse, too.
Here we go. See what he's made of right now.
Ran my hand in, nodded, and let it rip one time.
Good mark out.
Oh, look out. Rocker Steiner sitting his feet, riding it perfect.
It felt like I rode for 3 hours just because I couldn't hear him whistle.
I mean, what can you say? There's your world champ,
There
guys.
he is.
Got off, and that was special.
That's everything you've
Wow.
ever wanted right there. There's no description for the emotion. What a way to cap off his first world title.
I feel like it was a way different celebration for me. It wasn't like, jump up screaming, like, it was like a, finally.
And those emotions say it all for a cowboy who really is hell on wheels.
As soon as I got off and I was walking back to the chutes, I saw Dad and Mom and grandparents, and they were hugging. And that was the f***ing greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. My dad always talked about, like, my great-granddad, Tommy, he didn't get to see Dad win the world. And he always asked Baba, like, did he know that I was good? And Baba gets to see me win mine, so that was big.
We're home. Yeah, baby. Good day, man.
It's the best day of my life.
Mine too.
Sorry.
That's why I work so hard, man. I don't just rodeo for me. I don't just win for me. I win for, my family. Whenever I rounded the corner and they were taking pictures, I didn't wait on the cameras. I saw Dad and I just took off. That was the best. I was like, how cool would it be to get a picture of all three of us with our gold buckles? Finally. People keep asking me, explain the feelings, explain this, explain. I'm like, how do you put the last 9 years of my life, the blood, the sweat, the tears. I mean, I've dreamed of this. I've cried over this. How do you put all these emotions, all this hard work into one word? You can't. It's f***ing amazing. Like, it's just, I'm in disbelief. How the f*** did we get here? Oh no, when I left here last year, like I've said a million times before, like I didn't know who the f*** I was. But whenever I lost myself last year, like, whenever I found him again, it was a different person. I'm crying again. I'm glad I lost myself. Hell on Wheels pushed me so much. Just because, like, I didn't want to do this and not win the world. After the 8th round, I was just thinking, like, we're filming this and I'm not going to win it. I knew that if I won the world and we were filming, it'd be huge for me, it'd be huge for the sport. So I buried my ass down for Hell on Wheels.
When I arrived, I made sure I arrived with a bang. I wanted to make waves. I wanted to cause a ruckus, and I wanted to let everybody know that Rocker Steiner is here. I would never take it back. But now I just feel like I'm at the point where I don't have to do that anymore. Everybody knows I'm here. I started this deal to be the best.
It's the Steiner mentality. If you're going to do something, you might as well, go be the best. So the gold buckle, finally, it's mine.
I know there's quite a few people with gold buckle, but feels good to have one.
You're a new guy, buddy. You're a new guy.
Champ of the world.
You can go back and watch the entire season of Hell on Wheels on the Cowboy Channel Plus app and on our YouTube page, including some bonus behind-the-scenes footage along Rocker Steiner's journey to that 2025 World Bareback Riding title. Stay with us on Western Sports Roundup. When we come back, we'll get ready to recap things with our Vetericen Top 3 and wrap up the show.
AI can turn your life
Back one more time on Western Sports Roundup with your American Hats Positive Time story. We've got a wedding in the works here. Rylee Webb and Josie Connor, they rung in the new year with a ring.
I like those smiles right there. I don't know if that was a smile that big when her horse won Horse of the Year or Riley's won 3 world titles now, but no matter what, it is a great time in their life. What a happy couple right there. Congratulations, Rylee Webb and Josie Connor on their engagements.
And here is a recap of your top 3 stories of the day, brought to you by Vetericyn Clean Treat Heal, advancing animal wellness.
You better keep it tuned here to the Cowboy Channel because we are headed to Odessa, Texas tonight in the Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo Performance #1. We had the Vice President on to tell us all about it. They're getting ready for 2 weeks worth of rodeo action. Oh yeah, it'll all be on the Cowboy Channel.
And I think we learned a few secrets from Rylee George. Of course, she is one of the fastest breakaway ropers out there, but she really worked hard on her average competition too, and she set the new average record on a borrowed horse.
I might have mentioned earlier that the PBR was in Boston this weekend. I messed that up. They were actually in Boston last weekend. No, they're headed to Madison Square Garden. That's right. It's the Big Apple and the Unleash the Beast tour as it gets underway this weekend. Actually starting tomorrow night. It was good to have Sean Gleason and Sage Kimzey here on the show to get everybody ready in the PBR season to head to Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, that venue has been such a big part of rodeo's history for hundreds of years now. They used to compete at Madison Square Garden a long time ago in the rodeo world. Now 19th year for the PBR to be at the Madison Square Garden. But let's talk about history yet to be made in the rodeo world. This weekend, we're getting ready to kick things off at the Sandhills Stock Show and Rodeo.
Yeah, it's going to be busy here for the Cowboy Channel, which is pretty normal for us here in January. That's right, Sandhills and Odessa gets underway tonight. You won't want to miss any of that. It'll continue through the weekend, and they'll have a little break there early in the week and get underway next week as well. But hey, another one kicks off this weekend, Denver, Colorado, in the National Western Stock Show and Rodeo. Colorado versus the World Rodeo. Of course, Mexican Extravaganza this weekend as well. All the pro rodeo action will actually get underway later on next week up there in Denver.
Yeah, we truly are in the thick of it now of our 2026 pro rodeo season, and we're going to bring you all the news right here on Western Sports Roundup. For Ty McClary, I'm Katie Lucas. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great night, everyone.